Welcome to Tech Talk with eTop Technology. I'm BJ Pote. This week we're going to talk a little bit more about technology, where it's going, and how it can help you move your business forward. Just recently reading an article about Microsoft and how their latest beta versions, so Redstone 4 and 5, are coming out with some pretty cool and unique options, specifically targeted at the business and power users. So what's really nifty about it, and I'm going to summarize this as tightly as possible, is they have this ultra performance mode that should be coming out in 2 or 3 generations from now. So whatever their current release update is, which I believe is the creative users update, then 2 from now, which should be Redstone 5, will come out with this ultra performance issue, which effectively eliminates like all power consumption savings, or all power, you can't even run it on your laptop if you're not plugged in. That should give you some idea of how much power this will consume, but it should give you much better performance overall, because it gets rid of what they said was micro latencies due to it trying to save you power. Chances are what that means is it will push your CPU, your memory, everything to the absolute max, which is good for those that are creating and can't afford for anything to be even a little bit late, have a little bit of latency at all. The other pieces for like Windows 10 Pro, if you're setting up a Windows 10 Pro workstation, what's really nifty is that it will no longer give you apps targeted at, Angry Birds. Let's be honest, we don't play Angry Birds very much at the office. And if I did find people playing Angry Birds, I'd be an angry boss. But what's nice is that with the Windows 10 Pro, they're actually targeting it very much to business applications. And as a result of that, it's a much better experience for the business consumer. So I think there's some really awesome things coming out of Microsoft right now. Pay attention over the next couple of months and we'll keep talking about them as they come out. So Google's really working right now to develop a tool that allows your inbox to be more streamlined and fun. I don't know if anyone's ever looked at their email and said, I want my email to be more fun. It'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be interesting to see the concepts that they put in place, because they are a really large company and they do have really good ideas. But then some of their ideas have failed phenomenally. That's not to say that any company of that size can't have ideas fail, but let's see where they go. And then the other piece of that is, can you improve email? I mean, at some point you want to see a message, read a message, reply to a message. It doesn't seem like it would get much more complicated than that. Probably one of the things that's caused a bit of debate is Microsoft releasing their clutter and their focused inbox. I think it's their take on trying to improve your email experience. In many ways, I actually really didn't like the focused inbox, but I do use clutter pretty extensively. What I like about it is it's all the emails that aren't spam, so it's things that you've signed up for, so newsletters, etc., or not signed up for, but aren't really spam, or true junk mail. But that way, if you ever need to go back and find it, you can. But then it keeps all of the ones from people or that are very obviously for you in your inbox. I use that extensively. I will occasionally, probably once or twice a week, go back and review my clutter. But to me, it's the notifications, the busyness that I don't need in my life that goes to another mailbox, and I just basically ignore it. So if you're sending me newsletters, that's where it's going to end up. Probably won't read it. I apologize. But those that send me a direct email, it ends up in your inbox. And I think that's a really big improvement that Microsoft released in the last couple of years. And I might have to go back and try the focused inbox again, just so that we have something to talk about. Microsoft, a company that we do a lot of work with, and as a result of, we do a lot of work for our clients was recently bypassed as the 3rd most valuable company in the world, which is insane when you consider that they're worth almost $700 billion. I think the article said 699 and change. That's a huge amount of money. I mean, that's a 699 with a B after it, with a billion. But they were just passed by Amazon. The part that's really interesting about that is Amazon's really firing on 4, 5, 6, 7, probably a dozen different fronts, some of which compete directly with Microsoft. So AWS. Back in the early 2000s, they built this platform to support themselves and decided, hey, we should sell it to other people. And this has become a multi-billion-dollar operation, heavily competing with Microsoft and Google for cloud space or cloud resource space. But they're also doing like supermarkets. Who knew? They bought Whole Foods not too long ago, and they're really growing into a bunch of different sectors. Yeah. I'm really interested to see where this goes. I'm not sure if it will last forever. I also know that Microsoft is making some very strong forward strides, but they have a much narrower focus, obviously. But it'll be really interesting to see how Google, Microsoft, and Amazon really compete for market space over the next couple of years. And then why lie? Apple's number one with like almost $800 billion in market capitalization. So they all have a bit of ways to go before they're actually anywhere near number one. So good luck, Amazon and Jeff Bezos. Good luck, Microsoft. Hopefully you guys really kick some butt. Recently looking at a top 10 technologies article, and the one that really stood out to me was these augmented reality glasses. And you've heard a lot about virtual reality. Let's play video games on a 1,000-foot screen or whatever. Anywhere you turn your head, that's, you're looking somewhere neat. But I think augmented reality will start to have a really big impact in business over the next couple of years. And it may not be exactly what you're thinking. I don't think the office workers are really going to need augmented reality glasses because they have screens already there. And unless they start doing hologram screens, I just don't know if there's a need. But where I think this will be really useful is for any kind of field engineer. So when you're communicating with the home office, if you never had to take your glasses off, or if you never had to pull up like an iPad or any device to pull up plans, and you could just see an overlay of what the plans are on what you're working on, I think that's where you're going to really see some buy-in on augmented reality if they can make it good enough, fast enough. But if you can imagine like a field person working on a heavy piece of equipment and not having to ever look at plans, I think this is going to be just fantastic for them. That being said, again, it's if they can make it good enough, fast enough, and get it out to business consumers fast enough. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. And we should actually probably go find some videos of augmented reality, and we'll put them into the show notes below. So that way you can see how people are already using it.